Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. For only 77 degrees, must be humid. I am like soaking wet. Anyway, welcome to Sunday. I don't know if you guys remember my Coolster Quad. This is one of those Chinese pieces of junk. Anyway, I got this from the local scrap yard. I brought in a load of metal. And they sold this to me for 50 bucks. And if you go back to my original videos, you guys will remember that the front end was completely seized. It wouldn't bounce. Well, I have since replaced the shocks. And I mean, that's easy enough to do. I'm sure you guys don't need me to do a hands-on for you. These are the shocks that came off, and if you kind of look in here, I think you guys could see what's wrong with them. This one was from the side that was crashed, and it's the worst of the two. So it was from this side, and you guys could see the plastic is shot. And it took me a little while to change these shocks. Some of you might say, well, it took you long enough to get back around to it. Well, it wasn't really the issue of changing the shocks that was the problem. It was getting a set of shocks at a reasonable cost. These shocks are a little longer than your standard Chinese shocks. And I was kind of surprised at what these guys cost. I mean, actually, I was a lot surprised. So, given that I didn't want to spend $50 on a set of shocks that were too short on a bike that I only paid 50 bucks for, yeah, these top to bottom, these are like 13, not including the screw holes. Typically they're like 11 and a half. So that was my problem. It was like, where do I get shocks cheap, right? Once again, I didn't want to put $50 worth of shocks into a bike that I only paid 50 bucks for. So as I've been roaming around the Hoard, looking for parts for other stuff, I was looking at this guy, the MB5, and it turns out her shocks were a little bit longer. They don't quite have the same size spring on them as the ones that are off of there, but this isn't like exactly a high performance bike. So that was one problem with it. And the second problem, I told you, it either needed the gas drained from the carb, or it needed a carb rebuild. And the symptoms I was getting, it would start up. Sometimes it'd start right up. Sometimes she'd be a little fussy, but she would start up, and it would run and typically take me to the end of the driveway, and then it would stall. And if I put the choke on and fussed around with it, she'd fire right back up, and she'd run for a short distance and stall. It was acting like it was running out of gas, kind of. So what I did was, and this is easy, took this little container, and I don't know if you guys could see on the bottom, kind of toward the top, how it separates out. Anyway, so I took this container and I positioned it under the drain tube. See, this drain tube comes out of the bottom of the carburetor and goes down to the ground. And then all I had to do was open up a little bolt, and I'll show that to you. Luckily this bike is nice and light. See this guy right here? That screwdriver thing? All I had to do was loosen that, and it drained out. I let it drain for a few minutes, I tightened it back up, and all was good. And once again, it does appear as if I got some water out of it. A couple of things about draining that. Use yourself the right screwdriver. This thing with this blade happened to be perfect, because what that is a little brass needle valve like thing. And if you booger it all up, then you can't drain the water from your gas. I mean, that is specifically there so that you can drain the water from your gas. And as a matter of fact, it's really not a bad idea if you're going to let the bike sit for a long time to, turn off the gas, let it run out of gas the best you can, even open that up and drain the fuel out of it. And if you want to get really nice, take the gas line off, spray a little WD-40 in there, and that'll keep your carburetor fresh for next season. Anyway, having done all of that, I took it around for a little ride, and it is running a lot better. It winds up a lot better, and I'll take you guys for a ride in a second. But the front end, she knows so good still. It's good that it's got shocks on it, and it now, rides like it's got shocks on it. But from a she's got quite a bit of play, and as you're riding it, you could feel that play. One could feel that play. I have not put an on and off put an on and off switch on it yet. So obviously the green wire and the black and white wire, you short those two together to turn it off. To start it up, you short the black wire and the red wire, and you'll see the little LED go on there. I think you'll see it. Can you guys see that? It's on now. It's off. And it's on. Anyway, I short these two together. And by the way, you don't want them to touch the frame anywhere, because these wires are hot now. Okay, so that's hot. So I just short those together. I already got the brake locked. Turn it to on. And it starts right up. Give me 1 second. I gotta disconnect the battery charger. The battery holds a little bit of a charge. It's been sitting for a few weeks, and when I went to start it up, the LED came on, but it did not have enough power to light off the starter, turn it over. As a matter of fact, even the relay just clicked. So, give me a second. I'm gonna wipe the sweat from my eyes here. So you guys can see how easy it starts. Like sitting on a mound. Put it into gear, just that hard. This is a single speed. Wow, give me another second here. There's so much sweat running off the tip of my nose and all. That's what wide open sounds like. Might have run it out of gas now. I'm out of gas. A little way around that. Give it a little choke. Give it a little more choke. Normally, once again, this is how they behave when they still have a little water in the gas. I might have to drain some. I've been beating it about. So I've been beating it about. I might have moved some more water around in the gas tank. So I'm going to drain some more. Probably what I should do is drain the entire tank. So, there we are. Neutral light back on. This is what happens for reverse. Back to neutral. And when it's in gear, I got no lights on. So I'm going to drain a little more gas from it. Hopefully that makes it behave. So this thing is moving along. The looseness in the front end kind of precludes putting this up for sale or bringing it to my son's house or anything like that. I can't let just any old person get on this thing with it loose like that, especially somebody who will make the bike top heavy like I am. It can go fast enough that you'll get it into a turn, and if you're leaning it hard and the front end is wobbly, you can find yourself in a detrimental situation. But to just use it around the lawn for towing a cart like that or something like that is very handy, especially given the fact, once again, it's an automatic. I could just shift it into forward and reverse. So, about the Coolster, you're probably not going to see too much of this this bike anymore. I'm going to consider it done. I mean, the headlights work. I mean, it turns off. It might even start right back up on the battery. You gotta have the brake on for the starter to work. See, it started up on the battery. So, I mean, all that stuff is wonderful. Obviously, I got to put a key switch in it. I think I had this top cover, the thing that kind of goes over there. I think I had it. I don't recall. I'm gonna have to look around. Maybe I don't. Kind of. Oh, you know, I'll just look at the old videos and see if I had that cover and took it off. Perhaps put it somewhere. Once again, it's cosmetic. It's not necessary for anything. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please remember to keep your feet down, keep your heads up, get out there and enjoy all your days. Also, for Flash or Flash TV or 231 Flash as he used to be known. Guys, you know, think kind thoughts for him. He's not feeling very well these days, so, you know, be nice to old Flash. Go to his channel and wish him good regards. Anyway, take care now, folks. Remember, feet down, heads up. Get out there and enjoy all your days. You don't know how many you're getting, so make sure you get something good out of each and every one of them. Bye now.